going on, folks, and welcome to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm your host, PBO, and you're joining me on another edition of Hard Knocks, the Cleveland Browns. We're all the way up to episode 4. We only got one more after that next week, and we're done with Hard Knocks, and we're kicking it right into the regular season. So let's recap episode 4, Hard Knocks. All right. So, like this episode, and kind of a lot like Hard Knocks for the Cleveland Browns, it was more of getting all excited for what could be. And in reality, it wasn't. Because this whole episode starts off, you're coming off of the loss, but the big news was Josh Gordon's in the building. And they even said that the Eagles landed, or the unicorn has landed, as I want to say. The unicorn has landed. And, I was pumped. I was like, oh, Josh Gordon's there. He's going to go on the side of Javaris. It's going to be nice. Him and Landry looking nice. Nope. They ain't not letting him touch that field till they know he's ready. So, basically, this whole episode, leading up to the preseason game and before leading up to the rookie show, is a whole lot of just nonsense. I mean, it's just back and forth, the same nonsense we've been watching, showing the same people. It really doesn't, they don't give you any new insight into anything. They just kind of show you the rigor that goes on at training camp, because you could really tell they really wanted to get some Josh Gordon in there and really hype it up. And it was cool to see him back out there, and he's got a great attitude, and I love the way he's coming about it. I mean, the interview he did, it looks like he's really inspired to be back and really help out. But I mean, it's basically just like this episode. It was left on the sideline. I mean, he was left on the sideline just to watch them practice, and we didn't get to see anything Josh Gordon. And the episode kind of failed because of that. You could tell it was just it was a flat episode. I was like, man, this is the first 20 minutes. I was like, this is kind of boring, and there wasn't really a lot going on. I was like, they really don't have a lot. You could just see the dysfunction. They're still arguing and fighting. He was trying to keep everybody in line. Things are just, man, they're just dysfunctional. You could see it. You could definitely see it. They got talent. They're definitely going to win a lot of games. I'm going to stick to my 5-11 or 6-10 is probably what I think they're going to do. They're going to win a few more games than they should, and they're going to definitely lose some games they shouldn't lose. But man, I mean, it was just crazy, kind of a weird episode that really didn't get to anything. The best part, when we get to right now, is the rookie thing. I mean, they do the rookie show like every NFL team. They have a great rookie show, and I was excited because they actually do have a lot of rookies on this team. They got the big one in Baker Mayfield, and they kind of cheated, but not in a way, because they did a video instead of doing a performing live right there like most other rookies have, which has been great. They did a video, and I must admit the video was top notch. I mean, whoever helped them do this was awesome. The editing, I really liked it. They make fun of the great speech given by Javaris Landry at the beginning, and they edit over it. I thought that was great. They do the silliness where they're talking about if you're hurt, you got to be out there playing, and they got the guy in all the different forms trying to run a pass while he's getting broken down. That was great. And then Baker making fun of Ken Dorsey when he's talking to him. It was hilarious. It was definitely hilarious. It was a great video. You could tell there was a lot of energy put into it. They were really funny. They had a good time on that one. I really enjoyed that video. I thought that was probably one of the best parts of the whole episode was this. So then they kick it over and they start getting prepared for the Eagles. And the Eagles at this point are the defending Super Bowl champions. So they're big. So they actually have an excellent Eagle on their team in Michael Kendricks. And I'll get to more of him in a second. But Michael Kendricks is their new linebacker. He was cut by the Eagles, and now he's on the Browns, and he's got something to prove. So they kind of have like a film study where they just let Michael go up there, and he kind of breaks down the weaknesses in a lot of the different Eagle players and tries to like exploit some of his ex-teammates, like, you know, talking about Mr. I'm trying to say Carson Wentz, but it's not. It's Nick Foles, and how he has a teardrop pass. And, well, yeah, I mean, you can catch flaws in everybody, but it's just how much are you going to execute on? They were talking about how the offensive lineman is too big, and if you bull rush him, obviously it's going to work. And I loved how some of that came into play, because after that, they kick it straight into the game, and we got Eagles versus Browns. And, man, we are talking about one of the ugliest, nastiest, most boring games in the world. When the final score is 5-0, man, that is an ugly game. The best thing you can take out of that is the Cleveland Brown defense came to play. That first-string defense was looking good. Myles Garrett, got to give it to him. He's a beast. If that kid can stay healthy on the field, man, he is a beast. He looked good. But, I mean, in a nutshell, they almost lost 2 quarterbacks in one game. Tyrod Taylor, Ty, runs out, and he slips and falls and lands on his hand wrong and almost, man, everybody freaks out. Then I want to call him Johnny. Whoa, I want Johnny Manziel. That was bad. Then Baker Mayfield goes out, and he gets popped, and he gets his head turned back funny. And, I mean, it was like, in all of an instance, you could see all the Cleveland Browns executives and coaches like, Like, they just lost their first string and second string quarterback. Oh, my God. It was like the epitome of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it was scary how bad that was going to go. Thank God each one of them came out all right. Tyrod came back in the game, and he played again, and he looked okay. But, I mean, his hand was messed up. Man, that was just wild to see that. It was really crazy. And then after the game, they had a lot, they had their, like, meet and greets where they're just kind of, interacting with everybody. I like pregame how Baker was having his interview with Troy Aikman, and Troy thought it was really funny, the whole Ken Dorsey thing, and Baker's telling him how much he hated. Yeah, cool little stuff, but honestly it was not a lot going on. And then the big news that really breaks out of all of this is after Hard Knocks is over, is Michael Kendricks, the new Browns linebacker, gets caught for inside trading, and he flat out admits to it. He's like, yeah, I did inside trading. I did it. So the next day, the Browns cut him. So a day after Hard Knocks airs, the Browns cut Michael Kendricks. So he helped them with their little Eagles preseason, but they really wanted him for the season. And because he was going to be convicted and probably go to jail for a while now because of insider trading, they just cut him. And that was crazy. That was wild. I was like, wow, that's wild. So man, that's just another blow to the Browns. I mean, they looked like they had a little stout defense, and he was going to be a nice anchor in the middle in the middle linebacker. But damn, that just hurts. I mean, this Cleveland always seems to be snake bitten. They seem to get things and it just never goes right. Hopefully, Josh Gordon comes out. Now, I will admit, I don't know how much next week's going to be very cool. It's going to be, talking about a lot about the rookies, because no starter is going to start in this last game. This is basically all second and third strings or fourth strings trying to get some run, trying to get their last bid in for this last one. So it'll be definitely interesting to see how this all folds out and how it ends for us. But, yeah. It was a really interesting episode. There wasn't a lot to talk about because it was a lot of the same stuff. The best part was the rookie show and a little bit of the what's going on, but it was a lot more build up to Josh Gordon, and he ended up not doing anything. And I feel like HBO was just like, oh man, they really wanted him, and it didn't hit. It just didn't get him. So there you go, folks. There's my recap breakdown of episode 4, Hard Knocks Cleveland Browns. Hopefully we end on a nice bang, because that was a kind of a weak almost conclusion. Till next time, folks. Good night, Ted.